your app isn't cheap. It's expensive. It's $100 a year, $15 a month. Yeah, why are you charging so much?
Because it adds a lot of value. The app solves a real problem in a little different way and empowers the user to really be aware of themselves, by educating and tracking the calories throughout their body, right?
I think this app is so cool. It literally tracks from the second that you put food in your mouth to the second that you leave that in the toilet. I think somebody said this in the chat, but this app helps you know your shit. I think that's so funny.
So I'm Yago. I'm a former electrical engineer with a 15-year career in the renewable energy sector. Live in many countries and did many projects and different type of projects. And in this past year, I wanted to do a side hustle, right? I create something from my own, and I found this amazing business of the app business. That I figure out how to do by myself, right, in my free time. So I don't know how to code. Okay, that's the first thing. As an engineer, I know a little bit, and I understand the complexities of coding and a little bit of pieces. But thanks to my friend ChatGPT, it's much easier, right?
Yeah. No, awesome. And so how'd you come up with this idea for Digestrack? And honestly, what is Digestrack?
So in these past few years, past 6-7 years, it happened to me several things that I just put it together like a puzzle, right? I've been vegan or plant-based diet for 3-4 years. And in that period of time, I use a lot MyFitnessPal, these calorie tracking apps to learn, right? You use that kind of apps to follow your food intake, to learn how many macros, how many grams of protein you do and such. And it was a very, very interesting part of learning how this app works, right? Also, because in these past few years also had a lot of stress. For me, it happens from time to time that I have some digestive issues, right? That I just go straight to the hospital because of pain, and then come up maybe 1 or 2 days later that I'm okay, but most probably because of stress, right? And then I always thought that if you know about something, if you really get into something and learn, right? Like if you go for a diet, a specific diet, for example, plant-based, you start learning, right? You start watching YouTube videos from some influencers, some medical doctors, and then as you learn and as you get much knowledge, you are more engaged with that, right? You are following your diet or your type of food much more easier and makes your decision easier. So for me, this reasoning comes to the point and say, look, I use MyFitnessPal or other kind of calorie tracking apps, and there's a huge gap there of information that is no one is looking at, right? And it's what happens after you eat.
No, I mean, I think the gap that you found is like the need to track your calories, but then also like the impact on your health. And not just like the impact on your health in terms of calories and in terms of, carbs, but like truly what's going on with your digestive system. I think that's actually a really, really cool gap that you found. And so I know sometimes when people build these apps that have features related to, very like deep health kind of features, such as like, blood and digestion. Do you feel like you needed the help of like a doctor or a nurse or a nutritionist? Did you get any help from a medical professional, or how did you go about building an app for an industry or for a science that you may not know a lot about?
Yeah, that's true. So the first thing I did in order to really come with the feature is to get the help from a nutritionist that specializes on the digestion. So I worked with her in the past 3-4 months to really come up with for the algorithm. At the end, what we are doing is the app doesn't want to be a medical tool or a medical advice. It's more on an educational side, right? It's like, look, you are having these calories, this food, but what happens next? So then with the algorithm Digestrack, you will see the main steps. You will. It's a tool for awareness of what happens in the next steps. It goes to the stomach, the small intestine, large intestine, takes this time, happens this at this more or less at this time. So at the end, is a way to know yourself better, right? And to be aware of the big mystery of life that is uh, what we do with food, right? At the end, we
Mm.
are filters, right? We are having something in and then something out. So in the middle, something is happening. So Digestrap hopes to open this book for the users.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I think there's like some really cool implications. And you're actually launching this app at a really interesting time. Like I said, it's Ramadan. I think I posted this to you. And for
Mhm.
somebody to understand like how long your stomach is empty for. So like Ramadan obviously is a religious,
Mhm.
event, but like a lot of people do attribute a lot of health benefits to fasting and Ramadan. Some people non-Muslim even take Ramadan as an excuse to get fasting. So I think that's actually really interesting that you're launching an app that keeps track of your stomach health around this time. But yeah, really, really cool. And then I think last week we did a kind of more of an impromptu live stream, and you got your first customers. So what was it like? Kind of building the app. What were some of the inspirations that you had to build it and essentially building a paywall or building an onboarding journey that actually got you a paying customer? Like, what was some of your inspiration around doing that? And how did you, I guess, do it the right way the first time?
So at the end, the first inspiration I have is you, Alim. I mean, seeing you, watching your videos and seeing how you do things and implement features and using the tools. I think it was a big inspiration for me to start this journey, right? To see the
Nice.
path, no, to see the steps there, and and then obviously getting help from the team of Ambitious Labs that I thank very much this in this journey, because at the end it was made possible for me to overcome these difficult problems that I had in this building this app, right? And at the end, in this journey, at the end, you are putting the puzzle together, right? You are designing the app from scratch, seeing all the screens, what is the flow of the user experience, what needs to be tapped next, and what information must be seen. And we cannot forget that this app makes a very complex problem or situation into a simplified version of it, right? Because at the end, we cannot forget that digestion is a enormous world. No, every person is different, and here what the aim of Digestrack is simplify this and show it in a very simple way to users for them to be aware, right? And yes, I got the inspiration from other calorie tracking apps, right?
Mm,
Very big apps that are already established in the market and they are used by millions and millions of people. And you get the pieces that work, right? That you see that
yeah.
work that are more simplified, right? Um, and the other you just don't do it. And also these new trends, right? That are used by the calorie tracking industry. I think in the scene of the calorie tracking industry, you see a lot of apps that are more and more commoditized, right? That are very similar to each other.
Yeah, they are.
Um, yeah, they are right. They're giving you features like receipts or customized meal plans, but at the end, more or less the same, different colors, right? And and I thought that needed to end, right? We need to offer more information to the user, and the big problem is not that you just snap the picture and you say how many calories and macros and blah blah, but the engagement, right? The engagement is you need to use the app more because it offers you more engagement, right? And I think this is what we achieve here with Digestrack.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. I believe you're 100% right. And I've always told you that like I think that this can do really really well for the person who is tracking calories for their health and the impact on their digestion. There's a huge phenomenon of GERD Like I used to develop GERD like back in college, like when I just had really bad habits, wasn't sleeping, and like I also went to the hospital for stress. I've also had stomach ulcers, and a lot of it was due to just really poor digestive health, really poor like intersection between sleep and how much food I was eating, and when I was eating it. Like to be honest, like I don't drink coffee on an empty stomach anymore because it completely ruins my stomach. So like I think that this actually solves a real problem. And GERD could even be like one keyword that you try to optimize for on the App Store search. That could be really cool, like a GERD tracker. I know people would crush uh, that on Google search. I know I did because GERD is like the worst thing ever. They say like your your gut is like the everything starts from your gut, right? What you
Mhm.
eat and like the quality of the food that you consume is going to be the quality of, you know, how your brain performs, how your blood is flowing, how your muscles repair. And so I know when I had GERD, life sucked. Like I couldn't focus, I couldn't work out, I couldn't be the best I could be. I had a terrible relationship life, like everything was really bad. So I feel like you're actually solving a problem that's like really painful here. And I think we need to like drill into the pain a bit more and look for keywords for pain. Like I think the GERD thing is interesting. Maybe any other like digestive issues or like ulcer tracking could be interesting. There's a lot of
Mhm.
really um, painful um, angles you could take. And I know it feels kind of weird at first to like think about, oh, like I don't want to sell somebody pain, but like that's what marketing is at the end of the day. And like you built a really sweet product. We just need to figure out the right way to, you know, put alcohol in someone's car and get it to burn a little bit to get them to download the app. Um, and so I think you're onto something really, really cool here. It's just a matter of a few tweaks. But yeah, would love to jump into the app and get a demo of it. I will kind of share the app itself here. I have it pulled up.
Yeah, and to your point, yes, it's true. No, at the end, the goal here is to be like a tool for awareness, right? It's like this help you see what is behind the curtains, and with that and more knowledge, you are more in control and more empowered to make better health decisions, no, better food choice decisions that
Yeah.
goes you to be more healthy, right?
Yeah, and if I could give you some like open-ended feedback here, like that's not really clear on your first page of the welcome screen. Like you're talking about health, but then we have a really, you know, lean like athlete here who's about to run. So it's like, is this a health tracking app or is this a fitness or an athletic performance booster? I think there needs to be some cohesion between kind of what the messaging is about. But
Mhm.
nonetheless, I got the app pulled up, and I'd love for you to walk me through it.
Yeah, sure. So this, as any other app, we are going through the onboarding right now, and yes, as you mentioned, this needs to be more cure, right? At the end, we are mixing between a calorie tracking app and a digestion tracker. So we need to get the sweet spot there for be more conveying the right message for sure. So if
Yeah.
we go forward, we will create an account and start the the onboarding.
Yeah, and so the first thing that, you know, I teach in the self-selling onboarding flow, and kind of the same pattern that a lot of apps use, is like a welcome page at the beginning with a slider so that you can show people three value propositions about what your app does. I think you did a
Mhm.
good job there. And now we're going into the sign up flow. So I'm about to create an account. How many people have you had sign up like since you've launched, which was not that long
More
ago,
or
like
less, more or
a
less
week?
30 people try the app and use it a little bit at least.
Nice, nice.
Mm.
So I've created an account, and I think now you're taking me through the onboarding flow, and this is what I preach the most. The onboarding flow is where the magic happens because A, you are acquiring a lot of data. B, if you position the onboarding flow correctly, you're actually getting your user to admit to themselves like why they downloaded this app in the first place. And
Mhm.
it's also kind of a lead qualification, if you will, if you were to bring like the marketing terminology here. We want to make sure that we're targeting the right people with this app. So I always, you know, uh, establish the framework with our builders that you need to have like an onboarding stepper right here where you take users through
Mhm.
step-by-step questionnaire, and then you have this type of like either selection or input. So you did a great job here. I'd love for you to walk me through the onboarding here, but then kind of talk to me about why you put these questions in as opposed to any other questions.
Excellent. So there, the first thing I did is just study the other competitors, right, and see their onboarding flows and see what happens. The commonalities are you need to pinpoint the pains, okay, the problems that the user have, and reinforce that they have a problem and reinforce that this is the solution, right? And I didn't want to reinvent the wheel, so I just follow that main trend. And for me, I had a little doubts on how because you need to ask for information, given highlight the pains and highlight the solution, right? And we will see in the onboarding how the solution is there, and you can let me know your opinion. So at the end, we start with the goal, right? It's like what do you want to do? What are your health goals? Lose weight, improve digestion, maintain, gain weight, build muscle. So at the end, all the information in every screen is used by the app and the algorithm to customize the experience.
Awesome. So now I'm back. I'm going to hit the two options I had selected and hit next. Cool. Now you're asking me, what is your
Okay.
daily activity level?
Yeah, that's true. So because at the end, in order to calculate the target calories for your goals, we need to know more about yourself, right? So
Oh, okay.
what are your goals? What is your activity? It depends, right? So you are on the right track.
Haha, like Digestrack. I love it. Okay, so
And
tell us
then
about you. What should we call you? Alim, how old are you?
And then the information that we gather in these screens are used by the algorithm. At the end, the algorithm will calculate the times for digestion, and it's different for everyone. No, it's different from a 20-year male that is sedentary and drinks 3 cups of caffeine every day. Then have different sleeps. No, so we have I think it's 3 screens where we ask. What is the daily routines and habits.
Got you. That's really cool.
And I think in these 3 screens is enough. I mean, it's not too much pain, no, for the onboarding to user to keep going,
No, I don't
right?
think so. Especially because like this is very much a health tracking app. I think if you were building something that was more um, like you said, commoditized, that was like mass market, just like your ordinary calorie tracking app, I think it'd be better to
Hmm.
have it be quick. But since this is an app that requires a lot of intent, like I believe that you're building more of a health tracking app than a calorie tracking app. I think that
Hmm.
it's good to have more questions about the person's health. You're going to be able to get better users by doing that. And then also, I think you can demand a bit higher of a price because you're asking for more information and you're positioning yourself as a health tracking app. Um,
That's true.
Nutrition goals, carbs, proteins, fat, fiber, total daily calories. I love that. So it's giving me like a personalized plan for my
Yeah,
nutrition goals.
this is science based, so you have all the calculation in the backend.
Okay.
And now is the time. No, now the app knows more about you. It has your goals, and now is the time for you to log in the first meal in order to show the power of Digestrack.
Nice.
So basically, how the app works is you just compile a meal, right? And the meal is then calculated the times for the digestion and what happened next. So at the end is you one by one include the food in the meal. You can have a lunch,
I,
breakfast, snacks.
I love that you added like the log your first meal into the onboarding flow because it kind of gets the user their first win. I think I gave you some
Mhm.
feedback though that like there was one time where I was using your app and I didn't remember what my last meal was. So maybe you want to give the user an option to skip it. But I do believe that showing the user a way to get their first piece of value from the app is a really important thing. During my time at
Mhm.
PrizePicks, we always optimize toward A, getting a user to sign up and make their first deposit, but also we optimize toward getting a user to win And we always wanted our users to get wins at PrizePicks so that they felt good taking home money and that they would come back to the app to win more. So it's always about giving users a really good first experience. Even at Ambitious Labs, my team is held accountable within the first 7 days. A new user or a new student who comes into our program, we need them to completely finish onboarding, finish the first module, send their logo and brand kit for review. And that's like what my customer success manager is responsible for making sure happens, because we want to make sure that within the first 14 days, our students are getting wins, because then they're going to be more likely to come back, put their next big amount of or sprints of work in so that they can get another dopamine hit and they can keep achieving their goals. So that concept,
Mhm.
no matter what type of business you run, whether it's an education business like Ambitious Labs or a mobile app, it's really important that you show users how to get their first win and kind of trigger that dopamine for them.
Yeah, for sure. And then in the onboarding flow, you need to keep the balance, right? You need to keep the user included the information that you need, and then you offer the win, right? And
Yeah,
yeah, and at the end, you go next with your meal, and it happens that you don't need to. Maybe you log the meal that you had yesterday for lunch. It doesn't have to be exactly your last meal.
right.
And then now the Digestrack is ready there,
Oh, I
and
like
here,
this.
yeah. And this is like a summary of what Digestrack can do. Because at the end, you log something that you ate maybe a minute ago, right? But maybe if you log your breakfast, you will see that the stomach is already done, the small intestine is already done, and by now maybe if it's afternoon for me, like
I
myself.
think
So,
this
so you
app
see,
is, I'm so sorry. I think this app
mm,
is so cool. It literally tracks from the second that you put food in your mouth to the second that you leave that in the toilet. Like, I really believe, and I think somebody said this in the chat, but like, no, this app helps you know your shit. I think that's so funny.
yeah,
And I think there's so many marketing plays that you could be making off of like food to toilet. Like, imagine like the emoji of like the mouth to the toilet. There's so much stuff that you could do. Like, I ate this pizza. Look how long this pizza is taking in my small intestine. It's not coming out the other end. Like, there's so much funny stuff you could do for TikTok and Instagram. Um, like, did you know that eating too much cheese will make your stomach clog up? No wonder you look like this on the toilet. Like, you could you could crush. I think you could crush. This is probably your biggest opportunity when I think about like viral content. And maybe if you did work with Steven Cravata and you did go down posted, um, you could get some really funny creators to make some fun toilet related content. Because
indeed.
look, I know it seems weird, but like the toilet related content and like the very like edgy kind of like uncomfortable content is what people are like watching, and that is what the algorithm wants to serve, because it's like non-obvious, right? It's very like controversial to like normal everyday, like what's accepted in society. And I think that's okay. Like, you have to build products that are like on the opposite end of the spectrum, to get people to really pay attention. So anyways, I really wanted to rant about that because this, I believe, is your biggest opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. Being in the edge, right, and being there to be controversial. I think. Yeah, I think this app can do it. And at the end, you rely on content creators, and I think this is one of the key points, as you mentioned, that are more funny, no, more usable for being viral, for sure.
Yeah. So your app isn't cheap. It's expensive. It's $100 a year, $15 a month. Why are you, why are you charging so much?
Because it adds a lot of value. I think the app solves a real problem in a little different way, and empowers the user to really be aware of themselves, no, by educating and tracking the calories throughout their body, right?
Yeah.
And there are some features that we will see, and that makes this more fun, more engageable, more tracking, more. We have account for the journeys, and the journeys is, as you mentioned, from top to bottom. So you will know how many journeys you have, and you're accumulating that, and also the regular daily streaks there. So at the end, it's not cheap. There are other apps that are more expensive, but because what I mentioned before is like calorie tracking apps are commoditized, right? Like commodities. They go for the cheapest. I pay $1 every week or something like this. But I think we are at a different value here and
Mhm.
much more value and helping better the users.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, you hired a nutritionist, like you built the app yourself. Like there was a lot of work that went into this and a lot of investment that you made into the app. And I believe that founders often overlook the cost and they don't look at like how much time they put in. They don't look at how much research they did. And then they give away their product for
Mhm.
$3.99 a month and $29.99 a year. Like I believe in premium products. I know not every product is premium, but like I think it's worth valuing your time and valuing the R&D that you put into it, and also the
Mhm.
quality of your customer will come from the price that you charge them. You know, at Ambitious Labs, you know, we've raised our price significantly for the program, and we've seen the quality of our startups look like this, where we have builders like actually investing money into their product, because the cheaper price point customers were customers who were like barely making it and you know investing the small amount of money that they had. But when we ask for more money, we typically weed away customers who you know are just barely making it by, and we're able to get customers who are a lot more invested into it. They will cancel less, they'll refund less. um,
Mhm.
so I think that really matters, and it's something to think about. However, pricing should always be tested. We've tested multiple price
Yeah.
points on all the apps that I've built. So definitely want to see you test that. But is this a hard paywall? Like you don't let people get away from this paywall, or can I cancel it?
It is a hard paywall. If you want to go forward, you need to choose one, and you have a 3-day trial.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah,
So I'll go ahead and
yeah.
opt into the trial just because I want to see what's on the other side.
And you
Oftentimes,
are right. At the end, the pricing says a lot about the product and about the customer and about the value that is transferred, right?
yeah,
And for sure, this is the first version of the product and will be improved. And the idea for Digestrack is not only is an app, but to expand this as a reference of how digestion timing is important for people to be aware, right? In the web page, we are building a blog there to put more content in that regard to educate people and to be a reference point to understand better how our body works, right?
yeah,
And the goal is much broader than just an app, right? It's just
yeah.
giving awareness of people about digestion, about food, and about themselves.
Awesome. Yeah, and people don't know enough about their body. It makes a
Mhm.
lot of sense. I think this page is really cool. You can kind of see that my stomach is like 4% uh, completed with digestion. That's like really really cool.
Yeah, that then in the main dashboard, no, in the main, this is the yes. In the main dashboard, you see if the female account will have a female, and
Oh,
one
cool.
funny thing that if you tap the head, you can change your hair. Huh?
How did you build
So
that? I didn't even realize this was an option. That's so cool. You did all this in
yeah,
Flutterflow,
all this in Flutterflow, yes,
and
yes, all
you
this in
built it all
Flutterflow.
yourself. Did you hire any developers to build this?
Nothing.
Damn.
This is
And
when
you got,
when I felt.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, when you see this dashboard is what I imagine in the first place is like how can I convey the idea of the food going no from top to bottom. So at the end, this picture that you see here is what I dreamed in my first idea of the app.
And
So
how did you learn how to design this? Did you design it yourself? Did you hire a designer? How did you design this whole layout?
for the picture that you see of the body for the drawing, I hire a designer
Okay.
that we spent maybe a month fine tuning the design for being a silhouette of the person, and then every organ that you see there is a different picture. So everything
Mm,
is on top of each other. And
wow.
because in the beginning I thought about doing animations, okay, and be more interactive, but for the MVP for the first product, is just look, do it simple, and then we will add that later.
Wow. Got you. And what about all this UI design? How did you design all this?
So all by myself. I took inspiration in some competitors. Okay, at the end, I wanted the app to be more plain, right? Not more with a lot of colors. It's like with
Mhm.
gray, white, and then we highlight some of the things because it is enough with seeing the silhouette there with all the organs and all these graphics. So be as much simpler as possible, right?
Yeah,
You can always do more simple, more simple, but I think right now stays in a balance, right? Of understand how do you understand it, right?
absolutely, absolutely. And so, how long did it take you to build this whole app and go from idea to your first paying customers?
So I would say like 5 months, 5 months.
5 months.
From starting with you guys in Ambitious Labs. Uh, Personally, I had to stop a little bit because work job matters, and then I have some more time. And then
Yeah,
for the final steps, it's always difficult, right? With the Apple Store and Google Store, and
yeah.
it's a mess sometimes.
Yeah. At the end of the day, though, like we understand, like work and life comes up. We let you pause as much as you need. Our new business model and offer is actually um, you can pause as much as you need, and we'll continue working with you until you launch. So that's
Mhm.
actually been something that we've learned a lot because we were a startup, and we've also learned that people have stuff come in the way, and that's totally cool. We still want to be there to support. And then also like Apple and Google, we know that can take some time, so we actually moved
Mhm.
that up in the program way earlier. We require all the builders to set up their account within 30 days of joining, so that we can avoid any problems with Apple and Google. But I
That's
mean,
important.
you went from idea to launch in 6 months. It takes startups sometimes over years to launch an app. It honestly took me 8 months to launch my first app. But I mean, I guess I have an honest question for you. How long do you think it would have taken you to launch it if you didn't enroll into the program and got to work with our coaches?
Maybe a year, I think. Maybe a year,
Yeah.
because at the end you in the journey you encounter, even though I have very clear vision, right? Like I need to do this and this, and more or less this is what I want. You encounter a lot of difficulties because I don't know how to code, right? And all these technicalities sometimes and how the platforms work is difficult. And then how
Mhm.
to execute what you need. Also, you having the help from the coaches and the community is a great help, great accelerator for the development.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. But no, this is
Mhm.
really cool. You've added a ton of food here. And I wonder, do you have like a way to see like French fries digest slower than, I don't know, fibrous foods? Is there a way to see like how quickly something will leave my body? I think that would be interesting.
So the idea right now in the MVP is like you log the food and you see for yourself every day, because at the end the
Mm.
idea of this app is like you have breakfast, you log your breakfast, and then you come again on for lunch and you see the breakfast. Where is the breakfast? So is seeing every time you log into the app how food is moving, right? How food
Yeah,
is moving, and what food, as we mentioned before, is ready to go out, right? So you are seeing this journey as you use the app.
that's really cool.
Um,
Can I delete this one? Oh, yes, I can. Okay. I intermittent fast. I don't eat till about 1. And so I'm gonna log my meal today, and I'm gonna try to log my dinner tonight, and I'm gonna post a couple stories on Instagram with the app to see how it updates over time. That would be really cool.
really, really
Nice,
cool.
man. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations on building this. This is truly, truly impressive. I know we're working together, and you're also investing in marketing, and now we're on a mission to
Mhm.
start making some money out of this. So, I guess like
For sure.
what are a couple things that you're doing right now to market your app and to first get more paying customers?
So so yeah, I'm once I launch, you are there like in a desert, right? You need to push in a new different things. So what I'm doing right now is pushing for marketing, being present in some of the platforms that I think is easier to get the first customers, like Reddit or Twitter or X.
Mhm.
And then I have a small marketing team that is helping me create content for the accounts in the social media, and trying to drive traffic into the landing page and into the app, right? That is the main goal. So
Mhm.
having some strategies of yes, changing the price to for some time getting a discount offer, or maybe some giveaways to first customers to get downloads and get more feedback. I think that is important, and exploring the possibilities of marketing. That is another dimension. No, you first build an app, and then now the work is on the get the app out there and get people to know it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mm.
I mean, let's do it. I think you have an interesting opportunity here for like partnerships for Instagram, for TikTok. You said blogs are really interesting too. I think that I think especially the GERD blogs could be really interesting. You know, an app to kind of keep
Yes.
track of digestion, and maybe those who require um, kind of these niche um, remedies and symptoms. So I think you're definitely onto something here. Congratulations on launching. I know we have a couple people actually who said congratulations, great job, Yago. And so I know you were really well known in the community as well because you were moving pretty quickly and very active at the office hours, and the coaches all knew you. So really, really proud to be in your circle, man. Thank you so much for trusting us.
Thanks a lot, Alim. Thank you for your help and your team and all the community. You know, it's been amazing how with your support I could advance so quickly and make this a reality. And now a mission, right now on a startup. Now we have something that we can put out there and
Yeah.
develop and keep going forward.
Now the fun really starts. People think it starts when you build it, and it starts when you actually put your hands to keyboard. But it starts now. Like this is where it really begins. So good
That's the
luck, man.
reality. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Alim.